One of the biggest challenges that Amazon KDP publishers face is trying to find a low competition but high profitable niche on Amazon KDP. Most people think that because they can't find those niches that Amazon is fully saturated. In fact, there are plenty of sub-niches that you can get into. It's just about finding the right niche by using the right system and using the right steps and utilizing data that you can then confidently proceed with creating these books and publishing them and then being able to advertise them. So what I've decided to do is create a dedicated course specifically on Amazon KDP niche research. Most courses dedicate a lesson towards it, but I've developed this course entirely for niche research so that it can really help you to find those profitable niches and go ahead and create those books with confidence, knowing that you've got a niche that you can actually expand into. Now, if you're not sure about my background, I've been publishing now since December 2019. I have a number of best-selling books that I've published that across the US, UK, Canada and Australia, and I want to be able to help you to find those profitable niches. What I'm going to do is provide you with the intro video of the course and a couple of lessons as previews, so therefore you can determine whether this course is going to be suitable for you, and if it is, then you can go ahead to Udemy and purchase the course. But as you know from my background, and if you've been a student of mine on any of my courses, I throw everything into developing these courses because I want you to succeed. I want you to get those results, and from the hard work that you're investing with your time and money and effort, I think you definitely need to find these profitable niches so you can go ahead and create these books and earn a good long-term passive income. So I hope you enjoy the course if you become a student, and let's get into some of the previews right now, and I hope you find it valuable. And remember, there is a launch special for the first 30 days, depends when you're watching this video, but if there is a special, that'll be included in the link of this video. So in this course, there are some key sections that we're going to be covering. Section number 1, an introduction to niche or niche research and why it's important. The financial value of finding a high need but low competitive niche. Online tools that will boost your results. And I'll also provide you with a unique niche tracker. Section number 2, best ways to find profitable niches. So we're going to be looking at niche research metrics. What do we really need to know before we start to do our niche research? Sites to use for niche research. So this goes above and beyond what many people would normally show you. The best way to use Amazon for niche research, the best way to use BookBolt, the best way to use Publisher Rocket, the best way to use AI tools, and then the power of keywords and where and how to use them. And finally, section number 3, I'm going to conduct a live niche research. So it's an over-the-shoulder look as a complete niche research for you. And you never know, we might dig up some gold nuggets from that part of the course. And welcome to Section 1, Lesson 1. It's great to have you on board, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you all of my knowledge and expertise to help you with your niche research for Amazon KDP. But firstly, we need to find out and understand the following. So what's a niche? What's a sub-niche? And therefore, what is a topic? The topic is what our book will be about. Now, if you were to visit Amazon KDP, you're going to find that Amazon provide categories. We'll call it our niche for the moment, but a category could be children's books. But underneath that, we have our sub-niches or our subcategories. And then within those sub-niches, we have our topics, and that is what our book will be about. Let me quickly show you on Amazon what I mean. On the left-hand column here, we've got our categories. So you can see Amazon provide a significant number of categories. I haven't counted them, I believe it may be about 27. Under each of these, if we went to children's books like we had before, it provides the subcategories or sub-niches. And then within each of these, there are further sub-niches. So the further we dig down, the more opportunity it is that we're going to be finding categories or sub-niches that don't have as much competition that we can focus on. And that is a critical component of this course that I want to teach you. What I want to steer you away from is creating books, for example, a children's cookbook, but not really focusing on going down even further. Under children's books, we've got these areas here, and under children's cookbooks, we've got our bestsellers. Now, I wouldn't want you competing with a book that has 21,000 reviews and might be completed or published by a major publisher, or published by someone that is extremely well known. So we want to avoid that. And there's going to be some great methods that I'm going to be teaching you that will help you to be competitive with books that are profitable, that are generating great revenue every month, but don't have as many reviews, that we can sub-niche down into and find those great gold nuggets. So what is the value of finding a high need but low competition niche or category, subcategory? Well, it can be a huge game changer, because when you're creating books, you need to be able to find those niches that will allow you to sell enough books to be competitive, but not having to compete against the famous authors or the famous big publishing houses. So when you do create a book, what you're doing is you're setting yourself up to develop a long-term passive income. So month 1, you developed your first book. It might just make $20 per month. In about month 3, you might create your second book, and that might start generating $80 per month. In month 6, you might create your third book, and that might create $180 per month. And then in October, for example, if we're doing a 12-month schedule, you might publish your fourth book, and you're on a winner because you're using the right methods. You're creating great books with great covers, great descriptions, and you're using forms of advertising. That's generating $450 per month. So overall, over the 12-month period, you're now starting to generate $730 per month. Or, if we look at it, $8,760 annually. And that's just for year 1. And that's another important aspect I want to highlight. Think about this as a long-term journey. The amount of time and resources that you're spending investing into this process will benefit you for the long term. Not just the next 3 months or 6 months or 12 months. Think that this could benefit you for the next 5 to 10 years, even longer. Now, if we're looking at the investment for a long-term passive income, let me look at my journey, or show you my journey. So I started publishing back in December 2019. So this represents 2020. So from January, I created a few books, about 3 in the first couple of months. Then I generated a few more, a couple here and around about April. Then in about October, I didn't publish many. End of October, I started to create a few more books. And then December, I then had my final 3 books, because over this period of time, I didn't publish any more. I just focused on Amazon advertising. Now, the interesting part of this is that I published 17 books over the 12 months. And on reflection, the first 7 or 8 books I was publishing without having any strategy or any process that was in place for niche research. Now, out of the 7 books, 8 were strong revenue generators, but only after I started implementing the correct niche research strategy and system. So I started off with not much of a strategy. I was creating books. They weren't great books. They were in highly competitive niches. Didn't have a strategy. But then I started to learn the right strategy. And through process and error, I then started to implement this strategy, and book sales really started to increase. And over the first year, it was just over $19,000 that I generated. So it just shows you that with the right systems in place, and by making the right books in the right niches or subcategories, you can generate a great passive income stream. Now, it's not guaranteed because there are a lot of moving parts, which I'll cover further on in the course. But I wanted you to understand the importance of correctly knowing the way to look through niche research through the eyes of a long-term passive income stream and not just a short window of opportunity. You do need to invest time, energy, and effort to make this work. And if you create a book that is too broad, your book will be very hard to find by customers. You need to make sure that you're creating your books in those niches or those sub-niches that are generating revenue, are not competing against the big publishers or the major authors, and that you have an opportunity to really accelerate at and be the one that's the specialist in that particular niche. And welcome to this next lesson where we discuss process and steps. So there are 3 key steps that we're going to be taking as part of our system for niche research. Number 1, researching the book ideas. And we're going to be using a niche tracker, which I'll show you soon. Step number 2 is establish evidence or proof that we have a niche or a subcategory that we want to investigate further. And number 3 is to take action and start. So many people get stuck on the first and second stages. But once you've established some evidence, it is important to take action and to get started. So what are the major niche research considerations? Well, when you're completing your niche research, we need to find out, is it profitable? There's no point creating a book in a sub-niche that just isn't generating any revenue. It's going to be a waste of time for you. And secondly, can we compete? And there are plenty of sub-niches out there where you can compete and create some great revenue and ongoing passive income for your books. So the main component of this course is to find you those profitable sub-niches, so generating revenue, but also in niches where you can compete. Too many people are looking in the wrong places and just not giving themselves any opportunity. They may create a fantastic book, but if it's in the wrong niche or sub-niche area and you've got too many competitors, no matter how good your book is, sometimes it will never be seen. So let's make sure that you avoid that. So as you can see, the course is very specifically focused on data and providing that supportive data so that you have confidence to move forward and create your books. The niche research that I conduct and the steps that I take are very different from the traditional model of finding under 3,000 search results and finding 5 or 6 books with 150,000 BSR or under on page 1. That's the old school method. This method has got the data to support what you want. And that's why it's important that you follow this course very carefully. And there'll be a software platform called KD Spy that I use in this course. So make sure you have that available. If not, then I'll walk you through that platform during the course. But I do hope that you become a student of this. I want to be able to help you and guide you through these steps so you do have the ability to find these niches without scrolling aimlessly trying to find something and getting very frustrated with that process or traditional process that you've been following. Make sure you check out the links below. That'll take you straight to the Udemy course, and I look forward to having you as a student. I hope you have a great afternoon, morning, night time, whatever time it is at your location right now. So until next time, I'll see you then.